like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Who will you be tomorrow? And where are you today?
Good morning, or good afternoon. It's Sunday. And I made myself a cup of coffee. happened to my holes? They healed themselves, apparently. Well, I guess I'll show it more after I take the towels out and put a light inside. I wanted to be able to put the light in there first before I cut the holes, except for the ones I already put in there that disappeared, but been part of the design. Well. All it took was the final hot water soak. This actually makes it more felted. I see a massage. Uh-oh. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Doc is having an interesting morning. Apparently, he went somewhere without a phone. And there was a reason to have the phone. But he's going to have to explain because I'm here. Okay, it looks like it can still use some proof in here. So let's push that away. That's the amazing thing about the felt. Oh, I did have to wet it back down a bit in order to stuff it into the shape I want. Thinking of making this a prize. For our bingo game. We donate stuff and right. Yeah. I like the kind of a glow the rim gets from the candle. Okay, so now we're going to set it aside to dry. So the weird stuff, Angeline, wrap threads, complete synthetics, they felted well enough. They stick out, they dangle a little bit, which is what I was going for because it's just a cool feature, you know. I was expecting that or I wouldn't have used it at all. It's nice to see that this stuff actually did way better than I expected. It did as well as I hoped it would, but I was kind of like on the fence about it because it's all synthetic. But the fine hairs of the Angeline, apparently, that's why you can mix it in with your wool. Add sparkle. I'm still not sure I'd want that against my skin. It's really pretty. Yeah. We'll see. So we made a little swirl and have this one across the bottom and separate deliberately. Once part of it actually makes everything stronger and helps support the structure. So yeah, we did it. And now this can just sit behind me in the window and dry the rest of the day. We will save this for later after it's dry. I can test it. Okay. It is Sunday. In the old days, Sunday was thought of the day, card of the day, meditation of the day. And I haven't been doing that because I changed the format to be completely selfish and use this time to create. Doesn't shut me up though. So if you have thoughts and wish to voice them, sprechen. Okay. I'm gonna have to invest in some more towels. This is really better as a bath towel. I'm having all this excess at the end here, just gets in my way. You want a really smooth surface when you're rubbing all this stuff together. Okay, so I have some wool on order. A bunch of it. Gorgeous colors. And we will play with those as soon as they come in because at least 2 of them I have never used the like of them before. So we're going to be testing them all. I already know they're going to be good quality and they're going to felt beautifully. But I saw some artistic needle felting. And I know, I mean, you can, with needle felting, you really can make very detailed things and very tiny things because you're poking the wool with a needle point. So that's how fine a point you can get. With wet felting, you don't get that kind of precision. But I want to play with that and see how artsy I can get, like wet felted painting. Which maybe later I will embellish, like, you know, really strengthen the color or the shape with needle felting, since I do both. Right now, it's the wet felting. That's the turn on. Now, I'm going to have to pick out a resist, and I haven't really chosen the size of this idea yet. Yeah. This is the stuff I need to get more of this stuff. The correct grammatical way of saying this. I don't know right now. That part of my brain is off. Wait a minute. Ah, there we go. Even though it's neon, now I'm regretting throwing away the neon yellow. What did that mean? I will never use that. That is the ugliest color ever. It looks so fake. And here I am using another kind of fluorescent color. And I'm not stuck in it. Enough is one of those strange things. It's waste, but it's not waste. It's a product on its own. Its opinion is. It just depends on where it appears. You buy neps, like that one, this red stone, that's a nep. What is a nep? It is little bits of the wool that develop as you're combing it, you're processing it, little just curls up, kind of like pulls on your sweater. Now, on their own, when you're doing the combing, it's something you pull off. You don't want that in your yarn unless you're creating a very textured yarn. It does not felt well, even though it's wool, because it's so already kind of felted just from all the handling. So you kind of want to cover it a little bit with wool, wispy wool, to make it stick, which is an idea for this project too, because I want to get some texture. It looks like I've got some gold all mixed up in this. It's all the same package. Yeah, let's start with that. Move that out. Maybe. No, the yellow just doesn't work for me. After that. It's gorgeous yellow. Sunshine. Did. On rare occasion, I do see a net. This was obviously stuck in there at the end to make the weight right. It's turning out to be handy for me at the moment. So I think I'm gonna want more than that. Yeah, I like this gold better. Now, one of the colors that's coming in is a blend. Not exactly like that. There's no magenta in it, but another one is all blues. I can't wait to see it. I know I said I wasn't going to buy any more wool this month, but I couldn't resist some because I've got so much to do. Really, the biggest hindrance right now of getting wool is the shipping costs. Oh my God. Oh. Let's get seed husks, and as much as I'd like gold threads, it's the wrong time for this. Okay. I am going to get a piece of plastic. This is not that big enough. This is a little too big. I'm just going to hold it for now. This is the seamless bubble wrap that I sent away for. I got it from Living Felt in Texas. Excuse me. You just order it by the foot with a 6-foot minimum. You roll it up and send it on out. And the advantage is no seams, no curves meant to help you tear it. So no leaking, and that's kind of important. Oh, 10. Well, I forgot this part. No, I want to build it this way. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do this. This is all experimental right now. I have to wet the plastic to keep things anchored. Let's try it. End up doing this with tweezers. I'm going to say, yeah, probably tweezers. New eye shape. It is so dense. Okay, back to the tweezers. We're putting too much moisture on it. Aloha. Oh, hold on. I can't believe you leave your apartment without your phone. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so Doc sent pictures of the volcano side of an island. Yeah, I imagine so. you're about right there. Should really get you. Just give it a second. Oops, I don't want to put too much water on this. Well, have a wonderful time. Is that the one that's getting that blue 3D puzzle? L'chaim. Cheers. Salute. I have my coffee too. Yum, 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 yum. Tease these things out. See if I can just stick. Dormant volcano. Oh, yeah. Well, you got the cat busy. You're going to have to move all of your dangerous apps so you can let them play while you're gone. That's one way to keep them from being destructive and bored. Except you can't leave the charging cord around because they'll chew on it. So what does he like best? Or better, fish or mice? That isn't quite what I meant to do, but it's funny. Marianne. What are you playing Gilligan's Island for him? Pet. Mice. Now, as I remember now, these nips bleed red. Spread out. Mice he goes after, but fish he just watches, huh? Just like humans. Although I had a cat that went fishing in my fish tank. Came home from a gig and I found 3 of them on the floor. He tried to make friends with them. He was very sad. Not as sad as they were. Let's try this. Does he seem to get bored of watching them, and does he try to switch the program? Bring my mice friends back for a little while. I feel the need to test my skills. What happens if he catches them on the screen? Do they do anything? Do they squeak? Oh, makes me wish I made a cake to go with that. Oh my goodness. So you know how active he is by the sounds. Okay, he's getting his mood out. He slapped a few of those pretty hard. Do you remember the movie Scrooged? Back here. I don't like that placement. I think we'll get that off. Now, I may have this well up too high. And again. Yeah. Oh my God. Everyone knows what this is going to look like now. It's going to be thick. But I did want some weird texture there. Arch. Stand up. 2% black and white. That doesn't surprise me. The problem is, again, when we're focusing on the shit, we're magnifying it in our world. We have to change our focus if we want to see change in our environment. I'm not chastising you. I'm just saying this. The whole genre is detrimental. It pleases people in the creation, but it's not getting us to where we really want to be. It's keeping us back. The focus on the worst. Of course you can. There is absolutely nothing that humans have not thought of to do to each other. Good, bad, and ugly. We have some people who write love poems when they're inspired and others who like to stab things. So we've got quite a diversity of humanity. But if we focus on the parts that we don't like, we magnify those aspects in our world as close to us as can be manufactured or maneuvered toward you, because you were the one that was having that vibration that matched the crap you don't really want. See, it's all about attraction. It always is, 24/7, no exceptions. You can't not have things happen just because you don't want them to. If you're focused on them, you are attracting them. So, yeah, we see horrible things. The fact is, every day, every moment of every day, somewhere on this planet, some crappy thing is happening that you can't do shit about. Nothing you do, even if you were a millionaire or a trillionaire, you would not be able to do anything about some of the things that go on. It's not your world. It's your world right where you are. That's what you can most quickly affect. So yeah, I can see people doing those things. I live down south where they treat animals like rocks. I get it. Does it help your psyche? Does it bring you peace? When you contemplate these things or observe them on TV, even though you know that they are manufacturing these stories, where do you think they come from? They come from the deepest regions of our primitive minds, our fears, our angers, stuff that we're not allowed to express. So it bursts out in ugly ways. But is that what you want in your life? I think not. If you don't want it, you need to change your point of attention before you vibrate to match the crap. When you raise your vibration before you travel, for example, things just go better in your travel. You see more smiling faces. You reflect it. They're a reflection of you. If you see crappy things happening, ask yourself why. Why did you invite that into your life? Was it a coincidence that you forgot your phone? No. It was almost like a setup. Because you know better. You know shit's happening all over. They had to bring security on board. You got a bus station next door and you went out with your phone, without a phone, even to water your garden. It sounds like setting yourself up. So be nicer to yourself. I better make that more yellow first. You're getting ready to go to a party today. What kind of vibe you want to nurture? What kinds of things will you see on the way? Oh, the staple is so long. It's really hard to do this backwards. But we need to get that up there. Turn it back on itself. So the design is not all messed up. Why aren't you looking at things that uplift you, man? Why do we do that to our own psyches? We don't want crap in our lives, and yet we keep going to look at it like a moth to the flame. And then we stand there and go, yeah, that sucks. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it does. Why'd you do that to yourself? When I saw the fires today, the devastation in Seattle, right there in the news about it, the trolls are out trying to blame it on Democrats. Well, if you didn't defund the police, nobody defunded the police. I mean, the trolls were out there in earnest, trying to find ways to say, oh, they deserve it. Watch them whine. I mean, it's like, really? You people are sick. That's what you want in your life? Because your focus on that will only draw it into your own life. And of course, you know, these are the same people who voted against their own interests. So, you know, we're going to just have to watch it play out while they continue to play dumb. I saw a commercial put out by a red state. I don't miss California at all. I thought when I left California and to come here, I wouldn't get the stuff I need, but the people are so warm and welcoming. And I'm like, what? So they're trying to sell you on it's okay to leave that state. Come here where people will be nice. Like, really, you know, I lived in California for 10 years and I loved California. I loved the people. I didn't like the earthquakes. That was, for me, the number one deal breaker. And I just wasn't a West Coast kid. I'm, you know, more of a, not a beach person. I'm a mountain and woods person. So being in California wasn't my ideal location, but California is so varied. Drive an hour in any direction, you're going to come up with different weather, but all beautiful. Oh my God, it's one of the most beautiful states in the country. That's like Hawaii. So many different things in Hawaii. Yeah, you did the right thing. You don't need to be around somebody who's moody. Good thing she warned you. It's like, if you come over, you're going to be triggered because he's not his best right now. It's like, yeah, that's when I want to come over, when he's not at his best. And yeah, the Trump guys, all they do is blame Democrats. Like they're different kinds of humans. Their blood is a different color. It's like you're hearing ignorance. Just because he can be kind now and then, it doesn't make him any smarter. You can't respect people who don't take responsibility for their actions. And as long as they're still defending a pedophile in the White House, someone who was already convicted of 34 counts of white collar crimes, has been debanked by Capital One for money laundering. Huh? So, yeah, they want to keep defending people who are obviously criminals. Go ahead. Go ahead. Be obtuse. Wait until he sees what happens at the end of the year. Wait until he gets his premium notices. Is he on any kind of prescriptions? He's about to get screwed. Like the rest of us, no matter what party you're in. I don't know why they think that, oh, we're doing this to screw with the Democrats, but it screws with everyone. And also, you know, when they try to deny funding to Democrat-run states, they're ignoring all the Republicans who live in those states. There's no state that's one party. I mean, aside from on paper where they've gerrymandered it to hell. In reality, there's lots of people who vote Republican in Democratic states and vice versa. But they're so short-sighted, you know, they don't see what they're doing to themselves. It was like watching the Farm Bureau down in North Carolina. My neighbors had a farm that was in the family for over 200 years. And it was everything they wanted it to be when they came down out of, they retired and they came back to the land. They got the cows on there and everything. And the Farm Bureau, when Obama was in, failed to inform the local residents that, oh, you might qualify for a big tax break on your land if you keep it a heritage farm site. You just need a little plaque and everything else. And my neighbors did not know about it because they're Republican. And so the Republicans kept that information from their own people just to keep them pissed at Democrats and to keep them hating Obama. And it was Obama who put that in there for them. It's like, hey, we want to help small farms. We will help you out. We'll make this tax exempt. But the politics was so much more important to them than the truth. Their hatred of a black man was so much bigger than their willingness to save each other out there in the country in no man's land. Well, in no man's land. I mean, I was 7 miles out from the nearest main road. They paved it for the first time ever the year before I moved in. Okay, out there, rural route. I know. I believe they're brainwashed. Do you remember on Twitch? There was this guy who used to come in, Poopy Pete. Remember him? He'd come in and he boasted that he was an 8th grade dropout. He had friends that were 6th grade dropouts. He thought that was cool. Like they know better than everybody else. They're willing to talk politics. Like, really? What do you do for a living with your 6th grade education? Are you shoveling manure? Not that that's a bad thing, but is that all you're ever going to be able to do? Because no one's going to hire you without at least a high school graduation. How do people boast of being ignorant? And then they wonder why we don't have, well, a lot of things. They're just too busy trying to throw shade at people they don't like. For the only reason they don't like them is not because they know anything about them, but because what, like, yeah, Fox News and all that tell them. I hear now Jean Pirro, the drunk from Fox, she's not only in danger of losing her license to practice law, for continuing to be basically a Fox person while she's working for the government. But now Trump is so pissed at her for telling the truth that he wants to fire her. It's like, no, you tell them it's vandals that did it, vandals. Even though there's no proof. No, there's proof. Like there was proof that the election was stolen, right? Like he's just a crazy man at this point. But people are still defending him because they're crazy. You got to remember, one of the reasons Trump likes uneducated people is because he himself only has an IQ of 73. When you consider that 95 to 100 is average, he is below average IQ himself for real, not poking fun, not just is what he is. So he leaves people who are dumber than him. Apparently, there's a lot more of those these days. I used to think so many people were smarter than they are back when I was in high school. Now it's like, Is it any wonder? Oh, yeah. I didn't elect him. A third of the country elected him. He didn't even have the majority. He just had the majority of the people who managed to go and vote. And not by much. That's why he needed 11,000 votes he had to go fight for. That didn't exist in Georgia. in 2020, trying not to lose the election, knowing he was facing sentencing for his crimes. Just some of them. Man is so dirty. So dirty. But I have to say, I'm getting a smile on my face when I hear him going really crazy. It's like, I know people are hearing this. I know they are. He just wants to believe humans in America are completely idiots like he is, but they aren't. They are hearing what he's saying and they're going, oh my God. Oh my God. I think we're going to get some more. Maybe I should put some orange back here. This is fine enough. This is Quarrydale. A little plusher. It might make it too bulky. But I'm trying to make the front piece a little fiery. Well, you know, we're Albania, where the greedy Kushners and Trumps are trying to buy property, and the people are rising up and saying, oh, no, you don't. We know what this game is. We have been there, done that. We are done. We're done with you rich people and your scams. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. God, now he's removed all protections of Haitians living here. It's good enough now. You can go back, get out of our country. That's Stephen Miller's. You see, he is solely focused on himself. He doesn't even really keep up with anything having to do with the war because he's clueless. What he does want to do, and all he wants to do, is decorate, make everything over in his golden name. But he's got his thugs working for him. And they're the dangerous ones. Stephen Miller, for example, Pete Hegseth. These people are out of control. They're crazy, they're hateful, they're ignorant, they have filthy agendas that they're running wild with. We have got already so many repairs we need to make just from what they have been tearing apart. Uh-oh. Too many mice. Okay, I think we've got some nice, and maybe we're gonna need the magenta. Yeah, let's go ahead and put a little bit more of this just for keeping the textures similar all the way through. And this is going to be the front flap of the wallet. Well, let's bring it a little bit. Do we bring it over yet? No. We need to get the magenta in there. And then that. Okay. Magenta time. Super fine merino. also have, let's see this. We have this raspberry. Ooh, I think we're gonna go with some raspberry. Oh, hell yeah. I like that better. Where's the end of this though? Oh. Oh, really? Okay, let's get you back together here. Wow. Oh, that's like silk. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, even though I really don't like cut ends. Some magenta. Oh no, I think we're gonna go with this. This is gorgeous. And I bought this 4 ounces of this on sale, and I wish I had been able to afford more. This is just so beautiful. I think we'll just go with the raspberry. Yeah, I'll save that for a lantern. When that's lit up, it's just so cozy. Well, cats are very much like dogs. People just don't realize that we're so used to keeping them so separated in mythologies, but they share a lot of characteristics. Tinker and Tasha both love to play fetch, just with different things. Tinker was he was really into Q-tips. Tasha liked these little foam rubber balls that looked like golf balls, but they were super light and bouncy, and she could grab them with her nails. Oh, she loved those. That. Tinker liked to go for walks with us and the dogs in the woods. Problem with Tinker was he was so bold. One going that way, one going that way, and then we're gonna have to go across this way. Okay. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yes. Cats are not pack animals the way dogs are. Dogs love being part of a pack. Cats have their families, but then they're okay now. I raised you. Get on with you. Go forth and be your own cat. Make your own little tribe. I love how creative cat owners have been getting in building stuff in their houses and apartments, even on the outside of them. You saw that one here, they built basically a ladder attached to the house decoratively so the cat can go up and down, let himself in on the second floor. It's like, that's ingenious. There's a Jake Leo rather. But Jake was also a bold cat. He was a Tom. He never got neutered, whereas Leo definitely did. But they both liked climbing up the gutters to the window on the fourth floor. It's like, what? How? You know? And somehow they found a way. That's what um, Jake disappeared for 2 weeks in winter, having me, of course, completely freaked out and depressed looking for him. Because we had just moved to a new city, coincidentally, the one I'm in now. And so he, although he was usually really good at plotting his course, he was missing for 2 weeks. And then when he did find me, that's the one that climbed the gutter of ice. We had to go down the back stairs on my butt with him holding onto my neck with all his nails. Like totally related. Like, I'm scared to death too, you asshole. How did come you had to do this? Where were you? I was just so glad to have him back. Oh yeah? Is it the promised rain or what? We have supposedly a storm coming. It's hard to say. It's definitely overcast right now. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything around here. I've been watching our beautiful storms go either south, north, west, everywhere but here. Like, oh, it's gonna hit, and then where'd you go? Oh, we took a detour up the 95. Went to Massachusetts instead. Oh yeah? Wasn't on the radar? And let's take an overhead look. This feels like Angora. So soft. All right, let's go the other direction. And a little orange in there. Get these together. Oh yeah? Is your garden ready? Oh, I'm pretty sure this is Corriedale, but sometimes it feels like Merino. Hmm. I've got to find a way to get to that sheep festival. There is so much for me to learn. Best way for me is hands on. I got to see it. I got to touch it. I got to talk to people. I hope we do get the rain. Your garden needs it. My garden is doing okay right now. Yuck. I don't miss any of that. I am very grateful that the kind of gardening I'm doing now does not require debugging anything or snail stuff. Uh-oh, I hope it. I don't think I have any more orange. It's gonna be interesting when I flip this over to do the other side. This is why you buy 4 ounces at a time. When I first started, I bought 1 ounce at a time, thinking, oh my God, look how much wool this is. I started really using it and going, oh, look how much wool this isn't. We need help. We need more. Extra there because that's the bottom of the bag. This is the top flap. And now we can raspberry it. Sun, sun, sun. Huh. I guess the one that said maybe rain might be the more accurate one, huh? I guess it depends on how fast they update and what their sources are. There are different ones. Yeah, we've got a bunch of clouds developing for sure. I love that when that's happening, don't you? How is Cyrus now? Is he feeling the rain coming? Getting all psyched out. Change in the atmosphere, boss. Change in the atmosphere. Let's roll the dice. Do you really want me to? You're the one that's going to have to determine what the numbers mean, though. I'm not a weather predictor, especially since you're 6,000 miles away from me. Sitting in the middle of the hallway. Let's see, weather. It is partly cloudy. It's very cloudy. Chance of showers. Highs in the low 80s and lows in the low 70s. All right, they're now saying about 9 p.m. It'll hit 74 and rain. We'll see. is going, do you have any idea what I can hear and you can't? You should hear what they're saying back there. I'm going to have to get more of this from our little beliefs, the wool beliefs. I wonder what I was going to use this for. I had something in mind, but just the lanterns I like making so much because of light obsession. Oh, wow. I believe in miracles. Yep. Let's get more. So what does your intuition say? Looking at that rainbow, almost rainbow. Is it going to rain? Might need more than that after I flip it, but let's get started with that. So while you're planning your breakfast, I'm already starting to think about din din. Or say, it's not really dinner, it's my late lunch, early dinner kind of a thing on Sunday. Thank you. Very sloppy. Oh, but so is the rainbow there? Don't leave us hanging. I can tell by touch if I've got the right layers, but it's, I need a visual to see where the colors are coming through. It's little wispy, very wispy work. Okay. Now this very fine wool is 19 micron. The stuff on here is smaller. It's more like a 13 micron. Super fine. Stay down. All right. Well, I figure if you're seeing any hints of a rainbow, it's already sprinkling somewhere. Might be too high in the atmosphere to see it, but it's on its way. Stay there for a minute. All of the ranges. I'm mentally sending a bunch of rain out to Washington State and Oregon. I'm so lucky that other people do this and they make this fiber usable for people like me who don't raise sheep. Thank you, farmers and weavers, people who shear. I love all of you. Just a little more. I think we've got it. Okay. Now, let me get all this yarn out of the way so I don't destroy it by accident. All right. This is just one side. I'm wondering if I should even start this. But I don't have to finish it once I get it flapped over, right? I can felt it tomorrow. All right, we're gonna go for it. And make sure it doesn't go running off on the floor. We've had that experience before. So when you start in the middle, slowly making sure that the water is getting into the fibers and you're pushing very carefully, pressing air bubbles out. Very airy. And more. So Maui is finally getting some rain. to the plastic so I can lift this off and do the switcheroo. Just a minute. Oops. Okay. Don't flip yet. A blue nip. Another one. Oh, I was working with blue yesterday. That's right. Of course. Okay. Let's see how we did. Stay down. Not what enough right there. It's alright, I'll get another chance. Back. Alright, how did we do? Alright, we want to have some texture here at the end. So let's bring this up in the corner. Over. Okay. Okay. Now back to could just use nips. No, let's go ahead with this. we don't call this. This time we're just gonna do. Come on, let's lay down. And it's here we just wanted to create a lot of texture, which it will do as the wool shrinks. Now, one of the things I did not buy with this wool order, it was more viscose. Even though I really, really, really would like to have a bunch of colors in it because it's so flexible. Okay. But light and it gets in everything. In your mouth, up the nose. Okay. Now we don't want to put too much of the wool on the edges because they're already folded with 3 layers. And it'll just end up being really weird. There's too much there. Oh, we need more. Greetings, darling. Well, it sounds like you're helping out a lot of photos. Charlie, how was the pizza? The new pizza place. Oh. Maui, you need to do your rain dance, and as far as the pizza, at least you got out of the house and tried something different, right? Something a little different. For me, it's a pleasure just not having to cook. Although I don't mind cooking well, I don't. I've always enjoyed cooking to some degree, but there are definitely days when I'm like everyone in the world, just too lazy. I don't feel like it. So, how goes everything? Your applications and all that? You all caught up with this? Where did we leave off? Ah, there you go. Cool. All right. Sounds like everything's on track. Perfect. Well, what I'm supposed to be doing today, probably instead of what I am doing, is setting up the Lenovo. Yesterday, I got as far as finding the damn password for all my internet stuff because I forgot it because I never use it. You know, I've had the same one for the last 2 or 3 years. And it's not what's on the bottom of the modem. As long as you don't get run over, you're good. All right, so we do the one more layer. More thin layer. Look at this. Well, if the weather is good on Tuesday, I'm getting a ride to one of my regular medical centers where I have my blood drawn, actually. And I'm going to learn how to give myself my injections. Not looking forward to it. Woman, behave yourself. It's amazing that these delicate little fibers that drive your nose crazy can become such a strong fabric. This kind of thing goes right up your nose. So I've paid my bills. And now what's left, I can pay off my Lenovo, make 2 payments instead of 1 and just finish it up, which has been part of the plan. But I did treat myself. I went and made another wool order. Not a big one, but yeah, I went and did it. I'm a bona fide addict now. I just couldn't stop myself. Look at this wood, look at that color. Oh my God, I have to try that. So yeah, it's a good thing it's not an actual drug. But wait till you see a couple of them that I got. I couldn't afford to get 4 ounces of them, but I did get at least 2 ounces, so I'll have enough to do a project. One from New York. Oh no. Oh God, why do you even stay in contact with her? If you sent me one thing Trumpy, I would say, you know what? If you're going to send this stuff, please stop. I don't need to be aggravated with bullshit and lies and conspiracy theories, you crazy woman. There are friendships that are worth keeping and those that aren't. Does she do anything that makes you happy? Aside from the birthday present she sent? Which was a stupid present to send through the mail. Yeah, I was just thinking earlier about how my life is so much better now that I've let go of old relationships that were basically unhealthy. But when you're friends with somebody for 45 years, you're kind of reluctant to say goodbye. But then when you realize that, you know what, this is not a happy relationship. In fact, it's pissing me off. I don't see a need for that. So I'm really grateful that I finally was able to just say, goodbye. As an innocent childlike mind, yeah, right. You're talking to a wall. I don't know why you think you're getting through to her. She's only gotten Trumpier over time, so apparently whatever you've been doing hasn't gotten through the brain. But if you're getting something from it, I certainly wouldn't discourage you from doing whatever you feel you need to do. Personally, I'm done wasting time on people like that. They feel no remorse. They have no problem with the fact that they voted for cruelty and are still cheering it on. Ask her how she feels about ICE and what it's doing to people. But she doesn't see them as people. They're immigrants, they're foreigners. So I have no patience for those people. They voted for cruelty. They voted for evil. Some of them now want to be forgiven because they've woken up and they're saying, oh, wow, I can't believe I ever wore that red hat. But if they're still holding on tight, fuck them. I got more intelligence in my fingernails that I threw away. She's not innocent, childlike mind. Now who's the crazy one? She knows what she's saying. She's following the most evil people. She's one of those people that is going to protect Jesse Waters and the evil crap he says. And I don't know why she's not more up in arms. I guess she's not of childbearing age anymore, so she doesn't care what happens to women. No, I've got no patience for those people. Like, it's okay for everybody else to get hurt as long as they're not hurt. Now she's living in New York and she's going to benefit from everything Mom Donnie has been doing. But you watch, she'll say something negative about him or call him a communist because Fox News is terrified that people want better government now all of a sudden, and they're willing to fight for it. We are going to follow the ways of Albania. We have reached a point where we are sick of the corruption in our government, and we're not going to let it continue. So people who want to side with the government as they take over our lives, invade our bank accounts, while they try to manipulate tax breaks forever, never and never, never an audit on a Trump. We don't want them ever audited by the IRS because then they'll find all the money laundering we've been doing. So no, again, that's not childlike innocence. It's preferring hate. You feel for her. Is she black or white? Out of curiosity. doesn't she have a lot of money? Isn't she capable of making friends? Even other Trumpers? She's Portuguese. It makes it even dumber. She's Portuguese and she's sticking up for fascists. Oh, Maui. You must like something about it, or like something about her, because you are surrounded by Trumpers. And just remember, when you were sticking up for them, they voted not to stick up for you based on your color and only your color. They have deprived you of benefits through the VA, and they're still voting for it. They're still doing it. So if they don't learn and change their tune, I don't know why you keep throwing spaghetti against the wall thinking that some of it's going to stick. Wow. Well, I don't know what that means. You can't fix it. So I just don't know what you get out of it, but you get something or you wouldn't do it. You attracted it into your life. You're not willing to let it go, so it's still with you. I don't feel for anybody's stupidity. I used to. But I have seen it. I have seen it like right up to my face. Like my friend for 20 years. Well, I was already like this, what she did the last year before she moved to Alabama. I was aghast that a friend of mine would do some of the shit that she did with a clear conscience. And I was already like, are you kidding me? What? And then as she's getting ready to run away to Alabama, she tells me, I'm voting for Trump just like my father. It's like, huh? Yeah, I said lots of things. I was very positive for 20 years with this woman. And in the end, she voted for Trump. They don't have morals. Okay? Anybody who votes for Trump does not have morals. And she proved it. On one hand, she always puts up this, like, I'm all about little babies, and I see a little baby, I want to buy them baby clothes. And she was good at buying baby clothes for other people's babies. I know, I spent lots of hours stuck in the shopping with her, where she was looking for baby clothes, with no baby in the household or coming. But then she did something I felt was extremely despicable. And she felt no bad conscience about it. She and her daughter lied in New York, where she was working, and she connections with friends and all that. She found out that there was a special privately donated fund for lesbians who wanted to have babies without having sex. So they could be, they could use a sperm bank and all that, and that's what they did. But they pretended to be lesbians to get that egg. And I was like, what? You stole somebody else's potential baby? I was just horrified. And they were fine with it. They were fine with stealing somebody else's chance to have a baby. They were fine pretending they were lesbians. And they're fine with voting for Trump. How can I be fine with that? They had 20 years exposure to common sense and talking about what was happening, the way the laws were being threatened, and blah, blah, blah. And still they went ahead and just did what Daddy does, because they were in Alabama. So apparently 20 years of positive did not get through to this person or her daughters. And here's the irony. The first people on that deportation list is her newly married daughter's husband and his mother. Ta-da! Do you think they learned anything from that? No, probably not. Some people don't learn. Well, you could only help yourself. And if you think you're helping somebody else, well, maybe you are. I always look to help people. I am mostly local now because, as I said, I changed the show format to being strictly about helping people, to about helping myself and teaching. I'm still helping people, but not the same way I did before. I don't mind doing these things for free like I've done for many years. Matter of fact, in a couple days, it'll be my 19th anniversary on the air. So obviously I am about helping people, Maui. I just have become more discerning on who to help. Am I really helping, or am I just helping them sustain an attitude that's not serving them or the world? Can I spend my energy elsewhere better? It is not a matter of what a person deserves. Everybody deserves the best. We really do, everybody. But when they're voting to deprive other people, it's really, I'm not going to have any sympathy for them. Like, you made your bed. Yeah, but you're the one that decided what that bed would be. I don't see my friends as nuts. Well, they can be more nuts than others, but when they need help, if it's something I can help with, I'm there. But when I first moved here, I was determined not to help. Mind my own business, stay away from everybody for a while I recuperated from the previous decade of shit. So I'm in a place where I'm really happy now. Are things perfect? No, we always want more than we have or better than we have, because that's why we're here, to come up with things like that. What are we wanting? What do we want to do? Helping other people? I have no illusions. When people are ready to be helped, they reach out. If all they want is to try and convince you to their side, fuck them. You know, I don't care if anybody believes my thoughts on the afterlife or a continuation of life. It doesn't matter. I know what I know. Other people need to know what they know, because we're all here on different journeys. But I have ceased wasting time on those who don't want to progress. And like I said, if they're interested in keeping other people down so they can get what they want, but fuck everyone else, then no. Go your merry way. I don't need to help you. You think you're doing great. I've got a friend who's lonely, watching Fox 24/7, and can't wait to tell you about the shit that she's carrying around in her head. And she's laying on you now. It's like, here's the shit I'm into now. You make comments, but do you ask her questions and put her on the spot to defend the crap she's giving you? Like, did you check that for facts, or are you just quoting some guy on TV? Like, people build their own little hells, Maui, including you, including me. But you're doing more than one nut. You're surrounded by them and you are engaging with them. You can't help it because you meet them whether you want to or not when you go to work in the garden. So you're being exposed to that. Thank goodness your guidance is helping keep you away from some of that. But I think you're just friends with this woman out of habit. And you can feel like you've got your shit more together than her. But that's my opinion. I would hope not. But she does believe she's got an open ear with you. So as long as she believes that, you will still get emails like from your sister. I'm so glad to hear that. You have to defend your boundaries for your own sanity and your own prosperity. You want to attract good. And if you keep getting waylaid by crazy, it's hard to stay focused on what's good because you're busy just trying to avoid the bad. That's not a way to live. So I'm getting a whole bunch of, okay. Mr. Gary, are you around? I'll text when available. I'm live online at the momento. Okay. I have tomatoes and spinach coming my way. I had to say, moving into this place has done me a lot of good psychologically because there are so many people here. I've been able to observe them, not like a scientist, but an emotional evaluator of the vibrations in the area. And it's easier to identify like what I don't want and what I do want. So I've been making, I've made some friends, not a lot of them because I don't want a lot of friends because what they really are not friends. Friends take time. Friends don't happen overnight, even if you're simpatico immediately. Friendship is a flower of slow growth. That expression is for a reason. Yeah, see? That's why when I spoke with my nephew about his mother, it's like, you did the right thing. You cannot let her move in with you and your fiance, now wife, because she will destroy your marriage. She will make you both crazy. You will want her dead because that's what she does when she lives with you. And it's not your fault. She will try to blame her problems on everybody because that's the narcissist in her. But no, my sister, one of them, is not a well woman psychologically and emotionally. Well, I told her if she wanted anything to do with me, she owes me an apology. And if she wants to discuss why she's got her problems, I'm here for it. Hopefully while she's in therapy. But she just focused on being angry and justified, and her anger, it's like, enough. You know what? Life is beautiful. It has its ups and downs, but if you keep focusing on the stinky parts of it, you're just going to have a bad smell up your nose all day. So yeah, I know there's people in my building who voted for Trump. I don't go near them. They avoid me. You're the spirit. When you decide that you've had enough, your vibration is no longer the same as theirs. You stop attracting them, they stop connecting with you because they need their matching vibration. So the most neurotic here avoid me. Not consciously. I'm not a nice person. I don't go and make problems for anyone. But the ones I want nothing to do with, I don't have to go, oh, I don't want to go near those people because their vibration is nothing like mine. If I want to see one of them, all I've got to do is sit here and think about them for a few minutes, and I will see them. That's what I'm saying is when you understand that you're the spiritual creature attracting everything you're experiencing, and if you don't like some of those experiences, you're the one responsible, not anybody else. I'm not saying other people aren't assholes, but if you're having an asshole moment, you're going to attract one of those assholes. It's that simple. The universe is going to continually, constantly, day in, day out, try to reflect your vibration in your experience, and it always uses what's closest to you. So if you feel like you might end up meeting somebody, you will, in a bad way, because you're not thinking good thoughts about it. You're thinking thoughts of avoidance, but there is no such thing. Thinking about them creates a magnetized vibration. So when you are thinking about happy things, happy people, things you love to do, things that bring smiles to your face, those are the kinds of vibes you want to put out, because then you start to attract people with the same vibration. You want to meet happy people, practice being happy. You want to meet assholes, practice being an asshole. It's basically very much that. Well, timing is up to you. Again, you're not recognizing the role you play, because part of us always wants to blame something or someone else for what's going on in our lives. But if you don't have that disruption going on in your psyche, whether it's you just laying in bed thinking about old times that sucked, no, you can't recreate those old times because they're past. But you can recreate the vibration and attract unpleasant things into your life because you've been spending too much time thinking about unpleasant things. So that you're creating the timing through your own vibration. You make things fast or slow. Again, it's up to you. You ever notice how people who need to be a martyr find ways to become a martyr? They're the ones that are always giving up, or someone stepped on them, or they got ripped off, or I mean, there's always a story, right? They're the ones that want to go, oh, poor me. After a while, you realize that, how come you're the one that's always saying, poor me? What have you been thinking about, talking about? What have you been doing? You lay in bed and you think about how awesome it is to go gardening. Well, if you've been thinking about how wonderful it is going to be to get back in the garden, then it's going to be a great day. You go out there thinking, oh God, what am I going to see, or who am I going to bump into? It's not going to be the best day you could have, because that's where your timing comes in. Mr. Trumper comes out, or Mrs. Kravitz, or the Karen with the camera. So you have the day ahead. You're going to be going to a party. Mr. Moody was moody yesterday. Hopefully today he'll have snapped out of that. So the best thing you can do is imagine him being in a good mood. Imagine it being a good day. Imagine what it would feel like to go to this party and everybody sharing good vibes. Imagine them totally flipping out and loving your gift. See it, practice it. Practice that vibration, not just the image, the feeling of it. And then you'll see. But if you go there expecting him to be moody, we get what we expect. And right there, you can just go back to Matthew in the Bible. He's just saying the exact same thing. All right, we have a lot of water in this, so we're going to have to suck some of it out or roll some of it out. Well, this is nice and thin. Let's make sure those nips are really going to be stuck on there, or I'll be disappointed when I unfurl. Okay, let's roll it up. Now let's squeeze some of the juice out. Okay, one thing you know, when you go there for the party, there will be 420. That will be something to look forward to. You can imagine them giving you a doggy bag to take home. That should make you smile. Really get that out. We got lots of wet here. There we go. Roll that water out. But we're still going to have to use some spongy stuff. Because we got a lot of soap here. But we're getting shrinkage. See these wrinkles? That's a good sign. Okay, let's remove some of the juice. Works great. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to smash the mic. Oh, so wet. Okay, we're gonna remove this, put this in a drier case here. So get this out of the way. Well, feels like the bottom is gonna be nice and thick and sturdy. We don't want any pens or keys poking through a wallet. Now, this is actually an experiment because I want to be able to do some really intensely colored inserts. But I'd like it to be completely part of the fabric. So to add color, I can do needle felting on it, make it more dimensional and all. So this is an experiment to see how much I can lay down prior to covering it with the regular wool. So now I do have those bubbles side up, so I better be gentle. I'm just squeeze some of the water out, but can't be rough because the bubbles make the fine fibers separate. Yeah, we do not need to get more rough with it. We're getting good felting right now. Green. Now, I can see the wrinkles happening, which means we are getting shrinkage. But it's still too early to tell if everything's stuck properly. I did lay a lot of viscose down. Luckily, most of the artistic stuff is wool, which should have no problem felting. Those nips, though, we'll find out. I'm trying to look through this so I don't cut the wrong end, which would be embarrassing and stupid after the amount of wool, like good wool, I put into this. I'm pretty sure this should be the bottom. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna need some concentrated light to see where the eyebrow of Nep is. I can feel it. So that must be the bottom. I think this is the end. Should be on this side. Oh my God. Come on, light, help me out. Okay. I see this narrowness makes me think this is the top. But I don't feel the neps in here. Yeah, I don't feel the neps. I've only put them on one end, so it's gotta be this. I wish I had one of those super flashlights now. There's a lot of water in here. Come on out. Look at that. I am gonna get my little lamp. We'll see if that's strong enough to go through with this. Be right back. God, I can't tell. Well, that is confounding. Wait a second. I think that's the right end. All right. Yay. This is the end I open. Okay. Thank goodness. The extra thick end is the bottom. Now, after I turn it inside out and we see what it looks like, I am going to break for the day. I'm going to go make myself a lovely meal and then focus on Lenovo. Activating my new pad. Okay, off you go. Oh yeah, that's felting nicely. So let's remove it. This is always the scariest part of the whole thing. So what worked and what didn't? Right now it looks like it worked. All right, here we go. All right, it stuck mostly. It bled, as I told you it would. Yeah, I'm going to just stop using these. So what I'm going to end up doing here is needle felting the eyebrow in. Okay, let's see how much it's shrunk so far. It's going to continue to felt, so. Doesn't look like a whole lot yet, but it did. Okay. So let's take a look at the other side. Nice. Another dead nip. So we will have to wash all the soap out of this, set it all up. With the vinegar. In the end, it's going to look something like this. After I do all the trimming and fitting. So this will look better after it's washed and all the white soap comes out. And we can see the real colors. Meantime, I think I need to make a new one of these. When there's too many wrinkles, it can start to crack while it's being felted, and then it'll poke through like little sharp pieces of plastic. We don't need that. Okay, so this is on the agenda for the kitchen sink. The sun is starting to come out. Let's see, we've got this. And now that it is stretched and drying, I can finally see the holes I tried to make. We're going to enlarge them after this is thoroughly dry. So tomorrow we will use the light inside of it so we can see where we want to poke some more holes to make a pattern when the light comes out. But so far so good. It's mostly dry. We'll wait until it's completely dry before removing all the towels though. So that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me this Sunday. I see more messages here. I will have to get later. Okay. I'll be back tomorrow. I think you can count on me. I gotta go look at my calendar, see if I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Actually, there's a lot going on around here right now. Calendar. Yes, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be here at a reasonable hour tomorrow, and Tuesday I'll be here late. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a wonderful time at the party, Maui. Sweet dreams be yours, dearest dreams there be. I'll be back tomorrow, definitely. Hope to see you there, here, sometime tomorrow. Enjoy your dinner. I'm gonna go cook mine, my lunch/dinner. It'll be dinner time by the time I'm done with my cooking. All right, let me give you my hugs and kisses. Come here. Oh, no, my dear. Please. I'm glad that you can hang out with me in the background without it being too obtrusive for what you're doing. So aloha, and I'll see you tomorrow if you're around. If I don't, well, wherever you are, make it a great day. Oh, I'm not kissing my phone, I'm kissing you. Okay, I need to go wash my soapy hands. Bye.